I would have been 2, 4, 5, 6.
State of the Save is back with part 2 of our Undertale discussion. You might be wondering, who's this strange voice that's usually the second person to speak up and not the first person? Eric, our main host, had a wonderful baby girl this weekend. Coincidentally, I also got a niece. Weird, figured that one out. Anyway, very strange, weird dynamics there. Anyway. We have a great show for you today. Let's start going around the horn a little bit. My name's Michael, hosting the show today. Let's go around our other host, Nick. Nick, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good.
That's good to hear. Also, I want to say off the top, too, this is some scheduling things got weird, so this is now a remote show, so if there's some technical lapses or difficulties, we apologize, but I'm hopeful that this will all hold strong and everything. So far, so good. John is back from Undertale Part 1. You might remember John. Say hello, John.
Hi, I was there. I did Undertale Part 1, along with these lovely people.
You were there. Friend to everyone, except Toriel in an alternate timeline and a few other random encounters.
That's true. Yeah, I'm an enemy to many Undertale folk.
Boy, there's already a lot I want to go into on this game because there's so much. And this, I don't want to say this game is backloaded, but because there is a lot up front, it's not like Bastion where everything happens in the last hour. This is very much a game, though, where just there's so much to talk about, especially on the Pacifist route. But before we get started with that, I kind of want to touch base with everybody, see what we've been playing. Let's start with Nick. Nick, what have you been up to besides Undertale?
Other than Undertale, I am a little late to the party on the Apex Legends Arenas mode.
I've mostly heard about that from Eric but I'll be honest, ever since like the first season of Apex, I don't know what's going on anymore. You could tell me that they're having crossovers with like Indiana Jones, and I'll be like, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just Fortnite.
So tell me about the Arenas mode. What separates it really from the main Battle Royale mode?
So I actually prefer Arenas going back to Apex. I used to play a lot in the first maybe 3 or 4 seasons, but I haven't touched it in a while. So there's like 3 or 4 more heroes that have come out that I haven't seen. But essentially, it's just 3v3. I don't know if anybody played Breakout in Halo 5. But it's kind of similar vibes. I guess it's the same as like no respawns. You can revive, but other than that, it's just kind of like you pick your loadout with currency that you earn throughout the match. So there's kind of like a buy phase and everything. But I really enjoy it.
When you initially said Breakout, my mind went to like that classic like Atari arcade game. I was like, wait, it's like Atari? All right, cool. All right, you gotta move the block to break some blocks. All right, cool. I get this, but
Apex is going a new direction.
Apex is really changing it up. I have no idea what it is even anymore. But is that pretty much because when I thought of think of the arena mode, is it similar in my mind to like when Overwatch got that like tighter PvP that wasn't like the 6-on-6? I think it was like the 3-on-3 like deathmatch mode. It's kind of what I picture in my head when I hear the word arena.
Kinda. So it's not like you don't have to go through the whole looting thing. Like there's only containers in the arena that you can get health items from. So it's not like you're looting other weapons. There is a supply drop halfway through, but
okay, so you pick your loadout ahead of time, and you have like that one thing that changes up the match on the fly. Like my gun's no match for their guns, so a drop happens, and you can like kind of restash if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. But
okay, gotcha.
I really enjoy it because it kind of takes away the third partying aspect. Like you don't have to worry about another team rolling up on you while you're in the middle of your fight. Like it's just you versus this other team.
That sounds a lot tighter. I bet games go a lot faster in that too.
Yeah, so it's there's a weird scoring mechanic in it where it's just like if you're the first to 3, you will win the game. But then if you both kind of like inch up, like you go back and forth and trade rounds, I don't know what the longest match can be, but you're basically trying to win best of threes after that as well. So it's weird.
Gotcha. So you have to win by 2. You can't just win by 1. You got to win by 2.
That's what it seems like, but I also haven't been able to notice a pattern whatsoever. So
Gotcha. So it might be like tennis. Apex
Maybe.
Legends Arena is like tennis.
But yeah, other than that, I just gotta say, new champion or whatever is broken. His name is Seer, and he basically just has wall hacks. Like they've just gotten to that point of the game where it's just not this operator. It just has wall hacks.
He looks cool though. He has a really cool hat and has like a cyborg aesthetic about him. I'm like, I dig this dude.
Yeah, he's
Dig
pretty
his whole aesthetic.
pretty fancy.
He does look cool. So if I go back into Apex, I'm gonna have to grind for hours just to get him because I refuse to pay any money for that game for some reason. I'm just
Yeah, I
going
feel
out
the same
strong.
way.
All right, John, what has been rocking your consoles? Not Undertale. I'm not good at this hosting thing.
No, man, rocking your console.
Let's
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
rocking the console.
that's just a normal phrase. We're starting it now.
I like it.
Stay and
I'm
say
sold.
we're rocking your consoles, ears, your ear holes with
that's
our
the t-shirt.
podcast.
That's the t-shirt logo.
Love it. Eric's not here. We're already thinking of t-shirts.
But yeah, no, I've been
You're listening
playing
to the show, Eric. This is what you get when you're gone. This is insanity.
crazy ideas without your consent.
Wait, that's the next podcast.
Yeah.
That's the next show name.
Crazy ideas without your consent. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I've been playing a lot of. Well, lately I haven't really gotten into anything like very story heavy. Well, I guess it's debatable because I've been playing the latest. It's the latest zombies map in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
called Mauer der Toten, which translates to Wall of the Dead.
They're in German again. Does that
They are.
mean? All
Well,
right.
sort of.
So
It's
I'm
weird.
going to give you a couple minutes because you are the zombie lore expert.
Well, I was because I'll explain.
Because if you don't know, listeners, Call of Duty Zombies has an extensive lore
very
that encapsulates how many timelines?
at
Like, is there a
least
number?
there are 2 highly developed timelines, but there are several that are referenced
Okay.
that like have individual events based around them. So
So when we last seen the group, is it the original 4 that
It's
was kind of in the
not.
Black Ops mode? Okay, so it's a new team.
they're gone. They have Call of Duty Zombies lore spoiler ahead.
That's fine.
At the end,
Go.
at the end of Black
If you
Ops
care,
4,
you know this already.
exactly. Honestly, exactly. At the end of Black Ops 4, the 4 characters die. The main 4 characters that you played as for the last 10 years, they die because they realize that the thing that's perpetuating the zombies throughout the multiverse, yes, I said multiverse, is the fact that there are several versions of themselves that keep on living and making it through this cycle. And the cycle repeats itself when they get to a certain point.
Because that was the thing in Black Ops 3. They had to
Yes.
find the original
Black
prime
Ops 3
timeline versions and kill them.
Yes, Black Ops 3 is the bad ending because that keeps the timeline going forever.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Yes, Black Ops 3 is considered the bad ending because it keeps you in the loop. It looks like a happy ending because it shows the characters triumphant at the end, but that just means they're about to do that shit all over again. And that's
no.
not fun. And Black Ops 4, which is not as good of a game, but it's the good ending because when they go back to Alcatraz, they break the timeline and they find out like, oh crap, we're stuck in this loop because
Time out. Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
It goes back to the Alcatraz map from 2?
yes, that is a pivotal map.
It all comes back to Alcatraz.
Yes. In the original, they had this Alcatraz map in Black Ops 2 where it was its own self-contained story, as we thought. Where the story of that map was there were 4 mobsters, and one of them was aware that they were in a cycle, and the other 3 were not. And the end game of that map was that you had to get the guy who was aware of the cycle to kill the other 3 mobsters. Because it's inevitable that the mobsters turn on him and kill him. And that keeps that cycle going. But you have to break the cycle by killing the other mobsters. When he breaks that cycle, it breaks the entirety of the cycle for the whole storyline. And that triggered the break for the main characters. When they got to Alcatraz, there was a version of themselves that's like, wait a second, the lab's not, we're supposed to be over here. Why are we here? This is different. This is different. This isn't good. And then, because there's only one of the characters that's aware of the cycle in this group too. And he's like,
Okay.
this is bad. This is not normal. Why
Someone
is,
had to speak up.
yeah. And so he ends up getting killed because he's what's keeping the cycle going in that time. It's weird. The point is, that's all gone. Those characters have died. It's crazy. If you're interested in just listening to a very interesting set of lore, look up COD Zombies lore. It is very surprisingly interesting. I've been playing the new game, which is its own self-contained reboot of that universe. At the end of the storyline,
that
the
needed
multiverse,
a reboot. If something needed a reboot, it was the Zombies timeline.
Yes, they collapsed the multiverse into one singular universe, and all of the trash.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Language now.
All of the trash from all the other universe was thrown into this place called the Dark Ether. So there were only two dimensions now, the one dimension and the Dark Ether. This new storyline, inevitably, the Germans during World War II, in a desperate attempt to try to win the war, find a way to breach dimensions. They open up the Dark Ether, and all the zombies from all the timelines start piling through.
Germans are at again.
And that's the story, essentially. We're in Berlin trying to stop an outbreak of Nazis that are currently in the Dark Ether, formulating an army as an undead. It's weird. But the map is cool. And it's built up to be this, like, East Berlin and West Berlin are in ruins, because this takes place when the wall was still up.
Okay.
In the 80s. And the wall in this map is blown open. Zombies are all over Berlin. And your goal is to stop the Nazi army from coming out of the Dark Ether. And it's really cool.
That does sound cool. Because I'm glad we got to like tie this up to zombies in the end, because as we were talking like multiverse and everything, I kept thinking what does this have to do with zombies again?
Exactly. Like, it's really, it was just them trying to be like,
zombies are just there.
Yeah, exactly.
This whole like alternate universe storylines going on.
It really is. It's just the fact, it's sort of more so the fact that zombies are there. I didn't even talk about the aliens, but we're not going to go into that.
What? Okay. We're not. Yeah. So is Vanguard, the new like being set in World War II, is that going to tie with more Nazi zombies in a way, or
yes,
is
it actually is. We got an announcement recently, and this is really exciting to me because Vanguard is going to be a World War II game, but the zombies in this game is going to be made by Treyarch, which are the company that has made the most popular zombies.
I even know that's a big deal because they made the zombie timeline. They are like the prime, they're the canonical zombie people.
It's a huge deal because they're going to continue the story that's happening right now in Black Ops Cold War in Vanguard. It's going to be like talking about...
That's the first time that's happened where it carried over into like different studios. Well, I think Vanguard's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all the studios are working on Vanguard. Like it's not just one studio anymore.
I think so. So there was a development issue in the past where Sledgehammer was supposed to make the COD that's out now, Cold War, but something happened, we don't know what, and Treyarch had to take over control of that game.
Treyarch, okay. I didn't know if that was Raven.
Raven helped. So Treyarch and Raven made that game. And it's like, for this new COD, it's just an amalgamation of Sledgehammer leading the project, but with Raven and Treyarch assisting. And Treyarch heading the zombie mode. And that's what's exciting to me, because I know zombies will be in good hands with them.
That does sound really cool, and I can't wait to hear about all the crazy lore stuff that happens. And that
it's going to be exciting. It's a lot more contained, and it makes a lot more sense because there's no longer a multiverse. It's now like the story is told through radio intel. You no longer play as a named character.
Okay.
You play as a team called Requiem.
Sounds kind of Bioshocky in that sense. Like they Bioshock the story. Like it, or more ingrained into the environment rather than like shoot these puzzle boxes and then unlock a cutscene.
Yes, it's like you find the intel to learn about the story around the map, and it's that's how you learn the story. You learn through exploration of the maps, and it's kind of neat. I kind of miss being one of those funny characters who have their funny quips, but it's kind of neat that the story is being told this way.
That is really cool, and I really want to check that out.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be quick. I've been dipping back into Final Fantasy VII Remake. I know I said that I would talk about this next when I had finished it, but I am so close to the finish line. I'm in chapter 17 of 18. I have a couple hours to go. That is a crazy, bonkers, wonderful video game, and I absolutely love it. It dragged a little bit in there between like chapters 11 and 12. I'll detail more about that later, but overall, I'm still having a very solid time. But the other weird video game thing that happened this week, so I had a 3DS for a while, but I only really had Pokemon games on it. So I found this thing that like there's bootleg like DS cartridges that have an SD card in them where you can load with a bunch of games.
Whoa.
So I ordered one from China, and it's here now. And it's loaded
nice.
with 200 Nintendo DS ROMs on it. So it's basically an emulator load onto a DS cart.
Whoa.
So I'm having a lot of fun with that, and I found ways to like extract the files from it, so that way if the crappy cheap SD card fails, I can have a backup with a new SD card, and I can load that with my own like ROMs and stuff.
Nice.
So the only thing I've been playing on that, I played a round of Mario Party DS.
Hell yeah.
Which, Nick, if you want, I recall you saying that you wanted like a back to basics Mario Party. You didn't want any of the like the bonus stars and everything.
Yes.
So I don't know if you played Mario Party DS. It's kind of that. It is, you have 10 turns. There are no bonus stars. Whoever has the most stars and coins at the end of the game wins. And it goes, you win, and then you do a boss fight and then move on to the next thing.
I respect that.
It's very like, the story mode is very much like, you're playing this to go, you probably only have a little bit to play, so we're going to streamline this. The boards are really small. We're just going to make it like very back to basics in a sort of way. So in a way I can appreciate.
I'm also kind of curious, what boss fight are we talking here? Like,
so it was a Piranha Plant boss fight where it's basically has the framework of like a mini game. Except it's a single-player minigame, and the one I did was you had to press A rapidly to hover above a piranha plant on the bottom screen that was coming up to eat you, and it would spit bombs at you. So while heading A to like levitate, you had to press B to catch the bombs and throw it back. There was no luck; it was all like skill-based in a way. So very interesting.
Why they haven't stuck with something like that? Like they always go to weird platform specific mini games, like for the GameCube you had the microphone mini games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember those.
This one does have that. Like there's some mini games that you only play with like the stylus.
Makes sense.
Some that you play with buttons, but you never have to use both at once. It's like this is a button mini game or this is a stylus mini game.
Huh.
Which makes sense because you're the only person. I don't mind that so much because you're the only one playing on that console. You don't have to share anything with anybody or hand somebody a worse controller. Theoretically, everybody with a DS would be around and play local.
Yeah,
with their own DS. So I don't mind it. None of the minigames seem like too overly complex that you can't figure it out. And if you mess up, you're like, oh, I get it now. I'll get it next time.
Does the Switch have that sort of local play?
Yeah, it has remote play for not remote play. What am I thinking of? Like local play for a lot of the games. Like you can do that with Smash Brothers, and I think you can do that with the Mario Party, but I'm not 100% sure.
And it doesn't require any kind of like internet connection?
No, it requires just like you being like in the same proximity. Because you
Yeah,
can
I
do that with
remember
the Clubhouse Games thing, so you can like play Chinese checkers or something in a group setting like that. So
I just remember the Nintendo DS specifically just being kind of the king for like broke kids trying to play games together, because you could like play Mario Mario Kart. You could just, if one person had it, all four people could play together. It was so awesome. That's right.
I remember that. Yeah, I had a friend who had it, and this was a long time ago. I remember we had a sleepover where I didn't have the game, but I was able to play it with him because he had it. It was great.
It's really cool. And there's some Switch games that do that too. Like I know Clubhouse Games has that, where it's just like, hey, download this app and everyone can play together in the same room. You can't like play it over like Wi-Fi, but in the same room at least. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
all right.
nice.
Now we talked about some Mario Party antics. Are we ready to get heavy with some Undertale? Well, not heavy at first. It kind of, this section
well, spoilers
of Undertale Part 2, yeah, kind of starts pretty like not light, I would say, but like there's a lot of levity to like the beginning of this section, and I'm gonna try to break this up when we discuss it bit by bit because me and Nick have gone full pacifist. We have done the second route essentially and gotten like the true pacifist ending. I assume, John, you've finished the main neutral playthrough, right?
Yes, I've been doing it. I've continued it neutral. I only would kill who I wanted to kill,
Okay.
and yeah. Ooh.
I can't wait to hear how.
I'm going to be playing this game again, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
doing the pacifist run.
Yeah, okay. So, we're going to mostly be talking, especially when we get to the second half. You can feel free to, especially once we get the trains on my end, especially once we get to the second route. John, if you want to like mute us while we're talking, me and Nick will be talking like heavy spoilers for that section. You can, or if you just want to hear us out and see how the run is different, that'll be your choice.
Or I'll just go la 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 into the microphone.
Yeah, that's the perfect solution.
Perfect solution. Yeah, absolutely.
That way nobody gets spoiled.
All right. So I booted up the game again, and I was greeted with like a very happy like start screen. Like all the characters I had saved were like on the main screen, and the title screen music was a lot jauntier and happier than I remembered it being initially. Like I thought that alone was really cool, and the way,
yeah,
I would go ahead and say that the way this game handles knowing that it's a game is the thing I love most about it. Like, there are fourth wall breaks in games all the time, but I was very impressed with the way they handled fourth wall breaks, especially in like the second half of this game. Just the way it like plays with the fact that it's a video game, like blew my mind. And I've seen stuff in like games like that before. I'll talk more specifics once we get on, but I was just constantly impressed with the way it handled that stuff.
Yeah, honestly, there were like moments where the fourth wall was being broken in one way, like in a way that wasn't like super meta, but then like a character like Sans would just break it to a meta point.
Exactly. Like, yeah, we'll get to that. All right, so putting up this game again, the first thing I did was I went to the Grim Reaper sailboat dude and rode back to Undyne's place because I remembered that I had once passed Undyne's home, but I didn't actually go in there. Yeah, and
I have a question for you about that ride. So,
okay,
I looked into this and I was interested to find some things out about this. When you were riding back, did they say anything about beware the man who speaks in hands?
I don't remember that. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a kind of like a pool of like random dialogue or whatever. I did get that one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember who it's actually regarding. Do you know anything about that?
I think so. I don't want to jump to a conclusion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think it's about the doctor prior to Alphys. Is that her name?
Yeah, Dr. Gaster.
Yeah. The doctor prior to them, and it's like something happened, one of their experiments went wrong. I was like, well, now that I've played this game, I could look into like lore. And I've learned that there is like a pool of quotes and stuff you can get in various playthroughs. Like you could play the game 50 times and get a new quote on the 50th time because there's like, it's like a 100. It's like the game, when you start a new game of Undertale, it apparently takes a number between like 1 and 100.
Oh, there's like a seed generator with what you get with that stuff?
And there's like certain things that'll happen if you get a certain number. Like, for example, earlier in the game, I got a call from the scientist, and she was like ordering a pizza.
Huh.
And not everybody gets that because that's like one of those pulls you get with the number. And
that's
she was
crazy.
Like, yeah, she was like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to order a pizza. I'll text you what I want on it." And then it's like your phone is too old for texts. But I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
That makes me want to play this game over and over now.
Right, because every time like I find something that I love about it and like hearing or like trying to like look up like watching like clips of it just to like refresh myself before I end up doing this, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get like that at all. That's crazy how this game like shifts and everything. And I see after playing through it, it's like the epiphany moment that I had like at the end of playing Bastion, where I'm like, I get it now. I
Mhm.
get the fandom behind this game. Maybe some of them take it. I apologize, Undertale subreddit, if you're listening. Some of them may have taken it a little too like extreme, but overall, I'm like, I get why. I get why there's a fandom behind this game.
Yeah, I do too. I do
I'm
now
listening.
because I was prior to jumping onto this game. I was kind of like, wow, this game really is a big deal. I guess. I mean, I don't know, but now I can see why. And it's like it's
Yeah,
crazy because you and Nick, but even though you're both doing a pacifist run, there are things that's like
we're still not
different.
seeing everything. Our
Yeah.
playthroughs are still unique to us in some ways, which is what makes this game feel like personal to me in some ways. Just
Mhm.
because like this is my playthrough. Like
Yeah.
even though I'm doing a route that's been played before, no one is there's comfort in knowing no one's probably had my exact game of Undertale,
Yeah.
which is very fascinating for like a very small like one man made this.
Oh,
Like
Toby
that's
Fox.
crazy. But Toby Fox, but with like some of the art was handled like outside by like some other people, but overall like the game design and the story were all handled by one person, and that's just incredible to me.
hmm
All right, so uh I went back to Undyne's house, and Papyrus is trying to make us friends with Undyne. And my favorite bit here is when Papyrus just is really awkward. He's trying to set up this conversation. He says, "I have to use the bathroom," and then jumps out the window, Papyrus style.
I didn't get that because I killed Undyne, so that's awesome.
And then like things are a little bit awkward, and then like Papyrus comes back and challenges Undyne to be your friend, and she like accepts. The
Yeah.
whole bit here. I think you had to do this too, Nick, to like do the true pacifist route.
Yeah.
But just it basically don't want to spoil like all the bits, just in case like if you're a listener and want to experience a lot of the pacifist stuff on your own. That's completely reasonable. But basically, it turns into like a cooking challenge where she's like up in the ante, like extreme cooking. It's very much like that SpongeBob episode where Sandy is really worried about going into hibernation. So she's like ramping up the extreme,
Oh yeah.
where it's like, we're going to play find the hay in a needle stack. I feel like Undyne and Sandy would be like best friends
They
in a
both
way.
go through the arm crunchers together.
Yes, absolutely. Undyne will be like, this is weak. This is what you call arm crunchers? I'm barely getting crunched. Basically, as a result, the house burns down.
Ah! Oh.
It escalates in a way, but there's some important bits here where Undyne specifically, like in my playthrough, I looked at she gives a list of drinks, and I look at tea. I was like, tea sounds nice. I was thinking my character would be like, oh, let's have some tea, be friends. And she says, that's the drink Asgore likes. You remind me a lot of him, actually, not willing to fight anybody. And one thing she like pleads with you with during the scene is like, hey, whenever you see Asgore, talk to him. Try not to fight, talk to him if you can. So
Oh.
that really frames going into like the final section for me, because that was the first thing I did. I was just like, okay, just I don't know if he wanted. I believe that the king is, even though he is the cause of like these deaths and everything, I feel like he was trying to do what he thought was. We talked about like last time how this game is all about perspectives, and how if you play the game one way, you're like looking at everything a different way versus another way, and just that thought of just being an empathizing, having a character be like, you remind me a lot of Asgore, which if just being like an RPG, you're going to like find like the main villain. Hearing like someone compare you to him is just like not off-putting, but it's like it frames like the rest of the section for me.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that because my
Killed her.
situation with Undyne was different. I killed her, but yeah,
You murdered her, then had a glass of water.
I did, and then I got another one, and then it evaporated, and that was sad.
Oh
But
no!
but yeah, no,
What'd you get? You get dehydrated.
I know I
Least
deserved
you
it.
can do. You
I
know who
felt
else was
bad.
dehydrated? All the people you killed.
Probably everyone I murdered with my hands. But
Hey, how'd this section go for you, Nick? Was there anything I touched on that went differently for you here?
No, I think walking away from this, Undyne actually just becomes one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I agree.
She's got the determination thing going for her. You can tell that she has kind of had this hard upbringing, but finds, again, like talking about perspectives, she Asgore is a very important person in her life. He basically sets her on what she considers to be her path of like, her destiny or whatever.
Yeah, Asgore was her mentor. Like he trained her and everything, so she owes a lot to him in particular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much it. I mean, we got the interesting back turn. I think it's cool that it does the same thing where it kind of like puts you and Asgore on this same like level, like kind of brings forth similarities between you and him. It's kind of a shame. Now this is in the main game. I kind of get the second playthrough kind of mixes up for me in my head, but that's in the first playthrough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just the thought of like you start questioning being like told that you're like Asgore. You start questioning, would I have done the same thing in his situation? Like just that whole framing of it is really well done here. But then I go past the laboratory here, and this is where this is the most like gameplay heavy section up for a little bit before you get to the first meeting with Mettaton. Because the first meeting again with the second meeting, I should say, with Mettaton, the first for this section. But like they're doing a lot of puzzles, and I like the bit where everybody's commenting on there's so many puzzles here, right? Like it's weird that someone would just come and just put puzzles down. What a weird security system.
a Peyruis.
And there's even a bit later on where the construction workers are in the hotel, and they're saying like, I don't know why they wanted us to build puzzles. This is stupid. Like it really goes into the fact like, yeah, this is a typical like JRPG dungeon, and it plays with the fact that like who did design all those like weird traps and everything? Because this is just a path to get to the castle, and it sucks.
That's a fourth wall break, and like
That
that's what
is.
I mean. And then there's
Yeah.
like the super fourth wall breaks.
Oh yeah,
It's
especially
crazy.
to the end of this game. I want to say like save a lot of like the more of the fourth wall break discussion once we get to the end of the game, because the end of the game is just one giant fourth wall break
Yeah.
that points a mirror at you and be like, this is how you play games. Does it feel good?
Not anymore.
But then we get to probably my favorite one of my favorite Mettaton sections, which I'm probably gonna say with every one of these Mettaton sections because they're all comedy gold. Every single one of them had me laughing hysterically. The first one's cooking with a killer robot.
Yes, I love that one.
It's so good because so you're basically on a cooking show from hell, and the robot's like, we just need a human soul, and he's like, oh, that's okay. And then Alphys calls and it's like, shouldn't you use a different ingredient? It's like, okay, we can use the substitute. And then like I really like this whole like section here because the gameplay change ups through a lot of it. Like there's a spaceship shooter sequence here, and even like the boss fights in combat are like constantly shifting play styles as well.
Yeah.
But here with the whole like spaceship shooting section, whenever you're doing the cooking thing is a lot of fun. So just the Mettaton stuff always had me on my toes because I didn't know what I was going to expect gameplay wise.
I liked how after you were done climbing, it's like the descend down was so short. It's like, okay.
That didn't even hit me until you said something. I'm like, oh right. It's like it's like an Edgar Wright movie where you don't catch all the jokes your first time.
Yeah,
because they're so
honestly.
rapid fire at you. Not in a way that's like exhausting, because for the most part, at least for me, they land.
Yeah.
So speaking of gags that like pay off and everything, there was a funny gag with Sans hot dog stand,
Oh yeah.
where early on in the game, there are plants in home, Toriel's house, that uh that are like long and stringy, and your character will say, "I don't know what to call this." You can read a dictionary, and it gives you the proper name, but the nickname water sausages. But when you look
Yeah.
at them again, your character will go, "Water sausages." And then I think because I did that when I got Sans' hot dogs, you bite into it and it says, "This is just a water sausage."
I always
That
think like when in that part of the game that they're talking about those like cattail things that people were biting into and it like explodes a bunch of like seeds. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
I always just
Hmm.
pictured that whenever I got to that.
But yeah, make sure during the section to stock up on hot dogs, because you will need them for the next like boss
Oh.
coming up. Jeez Louise. All right, but we're not there yet. I wrote down for some reason without context, Cool Skeleton 95. I can't remember what that's about. I think it has to do with one of the Alphys calls.
5.
I think she was like trying to talk to Cool Skeleton 95, and I think that was Peyruis or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a
Yeah.
reference to Papyrus's online persona, which he was talking about. He's like how he already has a troll who makes a bunch of puns.
That's obviously Sans.
Exactly.
Alphys. Let's talk about Alphys real quick, because you were saying you absolutely hated Alphys last time, Nick.
Absolutely hate Alphys, yes.
I'm iffy, because some of the
I can
jokes
see why.
land. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the jokes landed for me. Some of the jokes were just like hair pulling out.
Mhm.
So the best one I can think of that was both annoying and great was the timing puzzle, where she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna say the timing's tricky here, so I'm gonna tell you when to activate it," and then
Yeah.
you do it and go 1, 2, and then you get the text 3, and you fail the puzzle, and you're just like, "This sucks. I hate this."
So
But it's a good joke.
I don't hate as much because they immediately like turn off the lasers and you just go through. So it's just about as like common as any other bit, but it's just like the stuff where it's like every 5 seconds that you walk, she's got a text or she's calling you or something.
And
Oh,
all
it's
the
terrible.
all the jokes land. It's just like, "I have an anime pillowcase." You're like, "Okay,
Right?
cool.
Yeah.
All right, moving on." Yeah, I agree. Of all the major characters, Alphys is probably the weakest. But that's not to take away from me from any of the other like major characters in this game, because I think they're all
Yeah.
like very, very strong. Alphys
Yeah.
is the one that I'm just like, the game doesn't exactly. I never feel like the game knows exactly what they want to do with Alphys, because like at least in the past with this route, they try to make her like a really tragic doctor character, but like over the main like course, because she's a competent doctor, like a competent scientist, but over the time she like doesn't know how to use like how phones work or something. I mean, I guess that's the bit, but overall it just like, I don't know. I think Alphys is probably the weakest of the overall bunch. Like I still kind of like Alphys, but overall like
Yeah.
whenever
There are things that I like about her.
whenever you have characters like Peyruis and Sans and Undyne, she's just like obviously the weakest link in the chain for me, honestly. I don't hate her by any means.
I hate her. No redeeming qualities.
Well, that settles it. We're an anti-Alphys show now.
Exactly.
No Alphys. Yeah, no,
So,
I definitely get that. The phone, the constant like texting every time you enter a new area, it was kind of annoying. And I was prepared for that. You guys talked about that briefly, and I was prepared. So it was a little less bad because I knew to expect it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it was still like, why are we like
same? At least the text box goes fast when you can like thumb B and A real fast, like a controller, just go B A B A B A B A. Let's get through this. It wasn't like it made you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was my point.
I was just gonna say, like, the way that they could have made that from like the most annoying thing to the best bit in the game is just like halfway through it. If you can just go to your cell phone and unfriend her, that would be the best thing ever.
Yes, because you find out that there's even a bit where it's like, yeah, I must have added you on my account, as a friend and not and forgot. And then like after that, it would have been cool if you could have manually gone in and unfriended her.
Yeah, I agree. There's a Royal Guard fight that if you run it pacifist, it's hilarious because you clean the second guy's
could've manually-
armor off to the point where he takes the shirt off, and then the two Royal Guards fall in love and then leave. That was pretty good.
Okay, I did let that happen. I did not kill them. That was funny.
I'm like, they're just doing their job. If a murderous 6-year-old rolled up on their doorstep, I'd probably be mad too.
Gotta do what you gotta do at that point.
Exactly. Another great medicine bit here with the news show, and some of the crawls here are absolutely hilarious. Like the school has canceled over reactivated puzzles. It's a great bit, and this bit revolves around like of deactivating bombs. The music here is like just the typical Mettaton theme, but with like a newsy flair to it. I absolutely love this section. You guys want to speak to this bit at all?
No.
No, okay. That's pretty much it.
I don't remember that one as well, but I remember enjoying it.
I like the bombs. Like you go to the first one, it's like figure out the bomb, and the first one that you ring up is a bomb, so I hit on that, and then it zooms out and there's a bunch of stuff and it goes, they're all bombs. That was great, and I liked that. Just no phrase has made me happier in a long time than you successfully diffused dog.
Oh, I do remember that. Yes.
That was great. And then we get to the first like major boss fight of this section. I just want to say, gameplay wise, I loved every single boss fight from here on out. Like the second half of this game, it felt like the bosses were made in like order. In a way, I don't know what the order in which the boss fights were made, but it seems like for every single one, they just got better. And I might have just been getting better at the controls, but I feel like I was like dodging stuff a lot more efficiently than I was in the first half.
Mm.
But yeah, we get to the Spider Queen Muffet. And she is mad that you did not buy her from her bake sale. She's going to kill you for it.
I bought a pastry or whatever out of the bake sale in the middle of the first part, and I don't understand why she fought me.
I did too, because you didn't buy from the expensive one. Because she was like, buy from these, and then if you click on them, it goes, here's 99.
Yeah, they're just like maxed out.
You can't get these. She's mad. And I think the length of your boss fight determines how much you bought from the spiders throughout the game.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Because I only bought at the very beginning, and it was like at the very end where she's like, wait, oh yeah, sorry about the misunderstanding.
Yeah, that's what she did too. Because could you attack her at all?
I can't remember. I think I could.
Okay. Because I want to say there was about like, I can't remember how many, but like 15 or 16 like turns before it finally let me. Because
it was a while. Yeah.
The only boss fight that spares you. You don't spare her. She's the one who spares you because you're kind of trapped in the situation. Also, the music here slaps.
Yeah,
which I'm gonna say a lot.
One of the best songs in the game.
I even like the bit where, like, during one of the things, it says all the spiders are, like, snapping to the music. I was like, I died so much here, but I wasn't even mad because I'm like, I get to hear that boss theme again, which is so good. But, yeah, eventually you get to the point where she's just, like, oh, you bought some stuff. All right, sorry. we'll murder the next people who come here who didn't buy anything. Like, there's no alternate route to the castle from what I see, so people have to cross in that cave a lot, so...
You better be buying from some spiders.
You better be buying... Is it something that everybody in the Undertale world knows? Like, oh man, did you buy from the spiders this week? They're gonna bust me up. Like, there's a mafia.
The spiders are just a mob.
Like businesses like the shop owner. Yeah, that's why, like, the shop for the hotel is like behind the back alley. There's like, we don't want to encroach on the spiders' turf. We gotta do like this underground deal. The spiders are gonna come and wreck our business, being like, you're taking business away from our bake sale.
I liked the really depressed guy in the hotel who would sell things to you too. I heard him out and I listened to his spiel, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, little buddy." And every time like I came back to buy stuff from him, he was like, "Anytime, little buddy."
It's just
And
really wholesome.
it
Aw.
is. It was because he looks crazy because he kind of is, but like
Yeah.
when you listen to him, he's like, "Oh."
Mhm.
It was kind of neat. It was a nice. There's so many nice interactions in this game, like
There is.
that you wouldn't expect necessarily for them to put the effort into implementing, but they
Every
are there.
single usually JRPG conversations can get like the most like basic, but in this game I wanted to talk to everybody because everybody had
Yeah.
like either you would get like a really funny bit or you would get like something compelling and heartwarming when like a lot of JRPGs is like if you go to this town and talk to this person, they'll give you an item. And you're like, okay, I'll log this away and forget it in an hour.
Yeah, no, speaking of which, before we
Yeah.
continue, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Do you
Okay,
guys
yeah, that's fine.
remember earlier on, before we got to the lab, there was a secret area I found called Timmy Village?
Timmy Village? No, I
Oh,
don't remember this.
oh. Next time you play, look for Timmy Village.
I will.
There are a bunch of people there named Timmy, and they live there. And they're all
Just the
named
fact that-
Timmy.
Just the fact that there's an RPG town with everyone with the same name is like
Yep.
golden. All right,
Uh-huh.
all right. Looking for Timmy Town.
Yeah, make note of that. That's
It's
all
like-
I'm going to say.
I wonder if because Breath of the Wild came out later. I wonder if Tari Town was something similar, was like inspiration from that, just because you had to find everybody with the last name Sun, or like Sun in their name, like Johnson.
Hmm.
So everybody's name had to be Sun because like we need hard workers, and only hard workers have like the word Sun at the end of their name, like Jackson or Grayson. They gotta find everybody with the name Sun to build a town in Breath of the Wild. But so it just
mean,
reminded me of
maybe.
that in a way.
Toby
so.
Fox and Nintendo have been a little friendlier lately, from what I've heard.
Yeah, he has. He made a remix of Megalovania specifically for Smash Brothers because Samus
Yeah.
is in. So we know Nintendo's fans, and he did music for Sword and Shield.
Yes, he did. He
Yep.
did a couple songs in there. I think. I can't remember which ones though, because but I want to look now because hearing his music in Undertale. Oh,
I listened to the soundtrack all the way through already. It's so good. So the next bit here is really good and made me just laugh out loud because I'm like, I can't believe they're doing this riff. But there's an opera scene with Mettaton who's singing with a
Yes.
MIDI-ized voice with lyrics and everything, and this is a direct riff on Final Fantasy VI.
it is.
So in Final Fantasy VI, there's a bit where I never played the game, so I might be butchering this, but from osmosis, there's a bit where you have to get an airship, and one of your party members looks like the opera actress who has the airship. So you kidnap the actress, and then one of the characters in your party has to perform the opera. But the lyrics in the opera connect to her story in such a way where it's actually a tragic song with what's going on in her current situation. Like in the opera, she's singing about like a love that was like lost whenever like I believe you experience that in like the game. So it was like a really heartbreaking moment for her that she has to sing lyrics that relate to how she's feeling. And here is just a robot that's trying to kill you.
Yep.
But
Uh-huh.
when I saw that and just saw what they were doing, that was like the biggest laugh it got from me. I was like, oh my god, they're doing the Final Fantasy VI bit. It's gold. And like some of the lyrics like line up too, and the shadows, like look it up if you want to get sad for the day, look up the Final Fantasy VI opera scene, because even like the lighting and the fact that it starts out being sung on a castle is
Ooh.
it's beautiful. Like I love that payoff there. And also during this bit, they finally pay off the tile puzzle. You thought you were safe from Peyruis's
Yeah.
puzzle nonsense.
It's like, oh crap, we did have to write that stuff down and remember it. Kind of.
I tried to watch if you could get to the end. I tried to find if someone could, but I couldn't find anybody who did. I tried to. I was like trying to remember everything on the fly because it was like I think it was all true to what it said. Like purple squares advance you forward, but they won't advance to like this type of square, and this square you can't pass because it's water. It's like, what?
All I remember was that pink was safe.
Pink was safe, and I don't know if there was pink on that board. I don't know if it's really randomized, but geez, that was fun. I want to know if that bit is actually randomized, like Peyruis said, and he just got a broken, like, crappy version of that machine, or if like luck really ran out for Peyruis. Like, I wonder if that's included in like the seed at the beginning. I really want to do some research on that seed thing, just because I want to.
I do too. I didn't get to do a lot,
See.
but like I was watching a couple of videos and I came across one that talked about that, and I was like, okay, I need to look into what all the things are so I can keep track of them if I find them in my next playthrough. But also, there's a part of me that doesn't want to be spoiled for some of them.
Yeah, I want to read a design doc. I wonder if Toby Fox out there has like a design like spreadsheet for this game, because I would just fawn over it and be like, how did you do this?
It's
like
incredible.
On your own. It's
like
fantastic.
Do we know how long it took him to make this game?
I'm not exactly sure how long.
Because it's just so detailed in every way that it had to have been like.
Here we go. I had the Wikipedia page up to remind myself of plot points. It was developed in 32 months.
Whoa!
Only two. Is my math right? 2.5 years or so. That's nuts.
Oh my God.
Less than 3 years, one person made this.
That's it.
Toby Fox, are you okay?
Yeah, are you? Well, he is now. He's probably rolling in it. Hopefully, I hope.
Making that Deltarune money in a free game. You're gonna charge $1, buddy. Are you? But you probably don't need it. You're probably raking in that money. Wonder how much Game Pass commissions get him, because that's how I think me and Eric are playing the game, at least. So, I imagine some of our listeners here might be playing it on Game Pass for the first time.
Hey,
hi, listener. Anyway, so this is where you get to the hotel, this is where you have the conversation with Sans. Sans invites you to lunch, and you have a pretty heavy conversation.
Oh yeah. I remember this was kind of a tonal shift for
a little bit, and I imagine
Sans
this
has
hurt
been
you
all over the place a bit, but this was when it was like more like,
fun time is over.
Yeah.
Like, we had our fun with the killer robot, and now it's time to get real again.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you sit down, and so I was right about the notebook. That made me so happy when I found the notebook.
So you get shadowing that Sans does know Toriel in some sense. He basically just goes and talks to her through the door, and they make jokes at each other, and that's how they really bond.
I didn't know they had never met, and that like struck me in a way. So like, she was writing these skeleton puns for someone who was just she never seen before. She was like right outside the door, which makes sense now, knowing which makes sense knowing the whole story now. Why she wouldn't step out the door. I was wondering why. I was like, because at this bit I was like, why didn't she just open the door and like talk to him or anything? But now knowing what we know, it makes sense why she doesn't.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where tells you about Toriel, and this is where I wonder, where I was like, if I killed Toriel, would he have fought me either here or sometime down the line? Like, if I was in the timeline where I killed Toriel, which was wiped because I reset my Xbox, saving her.
You're lucky. I had to talk with Flowey, and it was not fun. He was very mean.
he is mean. Oh boy, let me tell you.
I think we find out how mean he is. We'll get into
someone needs a bit of weed killer, but or actually not, because jeez. So I was wondering. I was like, oh my god, would I have to fight Sans? I don't want to fight Sans.
No.
Even though his boss fight theme that I saw is like the coolest theme ever.
Yeah.
Like, why would you lock it behind this why would you lock the best song behind a tragic moment, Toby? How dare you?
I don't know. We get the Flowey second fight song, which is just like some dude shredding on guitar for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
that is quite nice.
It is insane.
But he says a line that really stuck with me that was like, "Take care, kid, because someone really cares about you." So I believe he's talking about, again, either he's talking about Toriel there, or he's talking about himself. Like he's like, I care about you, or at least someone does if you're finding your way home. So that line can be taken a lot of ways, but I thought it was really, really poignant. And why Sans might be like my second favorite character, because I don't think anyone can top Papyrus for me. Papyrus is gold.
It's hard for me. I don't know. I might like Sans more, but it's hard. Papyrus is so they're close.
Sans has a lot more depth than is led on in a way. Like he's got a lot to him, especially that he knows about the whole leveling, the real secret behind the leveling system of this game, and he's like your final check before you move on, like a morality check, sort of.
Sans is the dude that just messes around in the back rooms of Undertale.
Yeah. And Flowey's the one who tells you in the beginning, like, oh yeah, it's love. That's what that stands for. But
and right away, we should have known that like there was something. Immediately, you assume level when she's talking about love and everything, but it's actually when he's talking about that, it actually goes much darker than that. We know it's like a play on a trope, especially with the whole friendship pellets thing, to actually try to kill you. That should have been like the dot knowing there was like, oh, when I'm killing people, this level is not something I should be proud of at all. This is the opposite of a good time. For all these people I'm murdering, but not me and Nick, because we're good people.
I was about to say, unless you're Eric, and then you're just like, it makes the numbers go up.
That's fair. I was kind of on that same train because I had to when I like came to the decision. Yeah, I'm gonna kill Undyne. I had to grind because I just was. Oh
yeah,
I was not strong enough.
Your murder level wasn't high enough. You had to kill. You had to. The trail of blood wasn't big enough to alleviate the trouble of Undyne, so you had to make more murder happen.
That was when I had my first no one showed up moment in the game. I was like, oh god.
I think it's a funny bit continuing from the first part that no one knows what a human looks like.
Yeah,
because the shopkeepers are like, we love Asgore. He wants to kill humans, and I'm like, I'm okay. Just don't say anything. Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is the worst note because I didn't know if I would host this show. So I just wrote a bunch of cool stuff happens here. Good. Thanks, Michael.
Awesome.
So I'm really mad about that, but I think it's about me leading up to the Metaton boss fight, because I think we're in the core. Yeah, we have to. The elevator's broken, so we have to find like the back way to the core. Also, the hotel is owned by Metaton.
Yeah, like everything in the game. Like he's a capital like industry guy. He has all the items that people use in fights are his brand. He has a huge cult following. Everybody loves Metaton.
He has a monopoly on the news station. He has his own cooking show. He has an opera that's very successful. He's a glam rock artist. He has a hotel. He's doing quite well for himself. I don't know many killer robots who like own an enterprise, but good on Metaton. But yeah, so the core stuff is cool. It's another dungeon where you're trying to like solve puzzles, and mostly Alphys is hacking them to make them easier for you as you're progressing.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing some random encounters here, cool stuff. But then you get to the Metaton boss fight, and this boss fight rules. I love it. I love this fight so much. Like, he immediately turns into like a glam rock star, and the song again rips like every other boss theme in this game, where there's a lot of more emphasis on playing like a spaceship shooter with a bullet hell. So I really enjoyed that because I like that style of gameplay, and it was a lot easier to wrap my head around the moving the heart when it was like a ship that had to fire. It was around this time I figured out where that if I need to like look at the projectiles coming at me versus looking at the heart in the middle, and I'll be able to dodge them faster. Like look at what's coming versus not like what's at me.
Yeah, you get that like Guitar Hero kind of highway thing going.
Yeah, I tried to play. I didn't mention this at the top, but I tried to play Cuphead after playing this, and that was kind of a mistake because Cuphead is a lot harder than this game. Let me tell you, I thought it was like Undertale put me for a walk, and then
I
Cuphead
rage
was
quit
like
Cuphead 3 years ago.
it was a combination of playing this game and then seeing like a TikTok of it and go, I like Cuphead. That's a really fun, jaunty game. I never finished it, and then being reminded real quick. Oh
Why?
no.
You remembered why you didn't finish it.
I remember why. I could if I gave it the time, but nothing makes my blood boil like a good round of Cuphead. It's an amazing game, but this is not Cuphead. This is Undertale. So we're gonna move on from that. So that was cool. John, did you kill Metaton or did you let his batteries run out?
I let his batteries run out.
Okay, so it sounds like you're being a lot less aggressive during this section, especially.
Yeah, I started to because I knew I'd already screwed up when I killed in the beginning, and then when I killed Undyne. But it's like I didn't want to kill Metaton because I thought it was a really cool boss, and unfortunately my damage was done. But I stand by that decision. I'm glad I didn't kill Metaton.
Mm-hmm. So he runs out of batteries, and Alphys runs up and is like grateful that you saved like Metaton, because she's like, he's really not that bad. He just wants to kill humans, and you're like, all right, cool.
It's weird. Like Metaton lies to you, right? Because he's like, Alphys is actually trying to kill you, and
no, so he's actually just like straight up with you. He's like, hey, this was just a facade. She made me and said that I tried to kill you so that she could be a hero and save you because she's obsessed with you. But I'm flipping that on its head, and I'm gonna kill you now.
Oh,
yeah, right. That's exactly right. And it makes you wonder going in. I was like, is Alphys really setting this whole thing up because she doesn't want me to leave? And then you find out why. Because apparently, if you leave, you have to. It's. I might be shaken up. You might know better than I, Nick, about how the whole like. Either you have to kill, or if you don't kill, you'll be killed by Asgore if you keep up your current route.
Yeah, so basically it's just like she's trying to keep you from leaving the core and kind of turning back, so that like that's where you get your hard realization, I guess, that like you will have to murder Asgore and destroy the hopes and dreams of everybody living in this city and in this realm, or you have to make like the most selfless action and just let yourself die, so that he can obtain all the souls. So it's just like kind of kid gloves are off at this point.
Yeah, but then at that point he'll open the portal and kill all the humans. So it won't really be a selfless act. So it's like it makes you question your moral decision and make you wonder, like, am I going to actually kill this dude, or am I going to but Undyne's words were like, no, if you just talk to him, he'll eventually see your way because he's so much like you in that regard.
Which is ironic because that you can't do that in that fight.
Oh no, he does not.
No.
Not a talker, that Asgore, turns out.
He was very polite.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
About how did you have an essay portion in the Metaton fight, and how did that go?
The essay portion. Oh yeah. So I asked, at least for the first few times. I don't remember it for the like later bits, but he asked me a few times. It was like, what's your favorite thing about me? And I always said like either a mixture of like your pizzazz or like your showmanship, and that one got me a big rating score, because the way to end the fight is to rally the crowd up to get your ratings high. It's not necessarily about like killing him. It's about like working the crowd. Like if you taunt him and dodge his attacks, you'll get a big ratings boost, but you'll get a ratings hit if you taunt him and then get hit. So
yeah. So on PC, there's literally just I guess instead of that, you're just typing out an essay, and then there's like if you put beautiful or Metaton, it gives you like extra points, so you can basically just front load your fight and get like 2,000 points or whatever in that one part.
Oh, that's cool. Because on console, you just get like a text screen and you can type. It was like, please type what is just one question. It's like, what do you think about Asgore? What's your favorite thing about not Asgore? What's your favorite thing about Metaton? So you just write one. I wrote like one sentence and I got points for length. So I think it's cool that it accounts for it on console. I wonder if on Switch, when you can like type on the touch screen, if that would make it easier to like write out the essay versus like on a controller on Xbox. It's probably like, hey, you typed a sentence, good job, here you go.
The funniest part about that is if you use profanity in your essay, you get less points. It takes your points away. He's like, we're trying to uphold a nice family rating here.
The FCC is gonna find me. I don't want that. I'm running a business here. Do you imagine what I'll do with a fine? It would kill me. It will cripple my business. Human.
Ruin me.
So yeah. Now comes the really heavy portion. So you arrive at Other Home. We've seen Home, and we know the other home is called Other Home because the king is bad at names. So this is Other Home.
Yep.
And it looks hauntingness of it looking exactly like Toriel's home really got to me here.
Yeah, I was almost like, is Toriel gonna be here?
I didn't connect the dots that she was the queen.
Yeah.
It just didn't occur to me in that moment. It wasn't until like the reveal where I was like,
it was the moment I saw him and I was like, okay, yes.
So much sense. Yeah. It wasn't for the reveal. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, oh, they look similar. Whatever. Let's fight.
Because that was when they give you like a huge, for lack of better words, lore dump about.
Yes. So did you? I was wondering. I was going to ask you this. Did you get all of the pieces here? Because the enemies the former enemies that reveal lore dump here were all like random encounter enemies. So I wonder if you killed them, if you wouldn't be missing a piece of the puzzle here, or did you feel like you got everything?
I think I got everything. I actually wrote some of it down.
I did too. So let's go over the whole thing. So Azrael, there was a human that fell in the ruins before. A human supposedly fell into the ruins. You assume at this point that was before you.
Yes.
And Azrael cares for the sick human, but it died in his arms. And he was blamed and attacked by humans because he went to the surface to turn the human on and laid him on a field of flowers.
Yes, the bed of flowers.
And that's where the humans attacked. And it's implied that is the kickstart to the monsters hunting down and killing all the humans killing all the monsters. Is that right? Or was that just one factor? Yeah.
Nah, so Azrael, this is after they've been sealed away underground. So there is still that point of contention. But Azrael is Asgore's son or daughter, I guess child.
Yeah, because it says he breaks the seal to get. He uses the human soul to get out to save the human. That's what. I think.
So he can use one. Sorry, he can use one soul to get out, but in order to free all the monsters, it has to be 7 souls.
Right.
Is that right? Okay.
So basically, you get this little lore dump that you were raised, essentially, or not you, but the first child to fall in the hole is raised alongside Azrael as the king and queen's son and daughter. That child dies, and then Azrael brings him to the human world because they say they want to see the flowers one last time. And
that's right. Oh,
humanity, being as terrible as it is, I guess, I assume that Azrael killed the first child, and then in turn they kill him, and he doesn't fight back. They just kill him.
Yeah, he didn't. He absorbed the power soul, because the thing is, Azrael looked like a monster because when the child died, it absorbed the soul. So we got much more. Absorbing the soul made him much more powerful. So he was like a hulking beast compared to the humans. So that's what. And he didn't fight back, and he turned the dust, meaning like his soul was completely wiped. Like there's no more Azrael.
Yeah, it said he
completely shattered.
He crawled back
or
home.
So you think?
Right?
Yeah.
Pacifist
route.
Oh.
But there's also like a really good bit that made me sigh here too. Is like I explored the whole house because I wanted to see, and everything is the same. Like all the dialogue options for when you touch things is even the same too, which makes you question: am I back to where I began? Until you realize that this is Other Home.
Yeah, that's why I was like, is Torio gonna be here? Because it felt so similar.
Yeah, they have cool analogs where if you go to where you would sleep in home, you have the gifts, which are specific to your run, basically. So if you haven't killed anybody, you get like a toy knife, and if you are running a genocide route, you get a real knife. Um,
Oh,
and then
I
in the
got a
far
real.
left,
Oh yeah, I got a toy knife, and I got a locket. I think that gave me bonus defense.
yeah, I think if you are running like a pacifist route, they give you a better defense item than an offense item.
That makes
Um,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
And then
That makes
if you go into the kitchen, you see that there are just a bunch of crumpled up cinnamon or butterscotch pie recipes because
Yep.
Asgore's
Oh,
feeling the
Yep.
loneliness.
Yep.
he was trying to make
And
his wife's recipe.
what got me was a mirror that you look at, and it says, "Despite everything, it's still you."
Yeah,
And I don't know why. I don't know if it was despite everything, it's still you. I didn't know if like you took it as kind of cheeky, but I took that as like that hit me hard in a
yeah.
way. Like no matter all the struggle you've gone through, all the pain that you saw, like at this point, you're still you at the end of it, and that
Hmm.
ah, jeez, that 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 hurt. That hurt, man.
Man.
that single line got me more than may have been intended. I don't know, but so we get to the throne room here.
Yeah. And this is when we
And
meet Sans again.
this is where I meet Sans again, and this is where you get the dump of execution points and the level of violence, and it's basically a check here. So, what was do you remember your level and your experience going into this, John?
I can't remember the exact level. I know it was over 10.
Jeez.
That
But
seems high.
But it was not over 15.
Was over okay.
Hmm.
Like, is over 15 like the point where Sans is like, "Nah, you have to die now," or is that
Oh.
only in a genocide route where you have to fight Sans here?
I don't actually know.
I think it might be a genocide route.
Gotcha.
I might have
I
just
don't.
missed the
He
mark.
might not attack you with Peyruis is alive for sure. Like,
He made me feel awful though.
yeah.
he said something. I cannot.
I was scared, even though I was like, I don't think I killed anybody. I was rapping through my head. I was like, it was like
Yeah, you get that like little
yeah.
bit of
Oh no! Oh no!
He was like, "You killed when
uh-huh.
you felt like it, but you still killed." And you,
It's like it's a better version of the river in Metal Gear Solid 3 with
Right,
the fight with the
yeah.
pain, where you are walking through a river and you see all of the ghosts of the men you killed. And I was doing a solo, not kill playthrough, so my river was empty. Well,
Except for
it
one
was
person.
empty. Except for, that was an alternate timeline. Ah, jeez,
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
Ask Flowey if that matters.
He was the main. He's the main. He's, but it's Ocelot. Whatever. Jeez. All right. So, yeah, I was like questioning this bit, going, "Oh no, did I kill anybody?" I thought like maybe the game was like faking me out with when I was worried that like when I reset, Flowey was faking me out, thinking I was safe, and then Sans be like, "Nah."
Yeah, at that point I was wondering if I had killed Flowey or not. I was like, oh shit, did I kill Flowey?
time for megalomania. Megalomania.
When the Megalovania kicks in.
And this is when
But
you
also,
get
yeah.
and also and this is the part of the game where you're actually I don't know, maybe you're told earlier, but this is when Sans is like explicit, like, yeah, EXP is execution points,
Yeah.
and
Love.
love is level of violence. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what that means.
So LV, you're like, oh, it does mean love, level of oh.
Oh. Ooh, I should have done a pacifist run.
But I'm glad someone had to be a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I got a different result, different experience.
I'm glad you're a murderer, John.
Yeah, me too. It was good. It was great.
So this is where you get. This is where I wrote down: if I die, humanity dies, but if I kill Asgore, the monsters remain trapped. So it was a lose-lose situation. There's no good choice here.
Yeah.
But so one thing I did before I went to like the chamber here to like go forward, the throne room. did any of you guys continue right and go down the stairs?
Yeah, it's where all the coffins are, except for
And
yeah, you
Oh,
got the
yeah.
empty one.
I
the
did.
empty one with your name on it, supposedly
Yeah.
your name.
Oh, yep. Oh,
It's man, it's a just how does a game that can like make me laugh over funny skeletons just hit me with a gut punch? Bro, several moments of this thing, and I was like, oh man. So just the fact that like he already knows my name. It's already laid out like a coffin. At this at this point, that's what I'm thinking. So we go to the throne, and he just starts off the conversation the way I always like to bring conversations. I remember the day after my son died. Just normal stuff. Just
yeah.
laying it on here.
Nothing too heavy.
So he became mad with the power of stealing souls, and his wife left disgusted with his actions, and that was the bit where it connected the dots and went, oh, Toriel, that's why she's so protective of humans, because she was upset that her husband was like, hear me out. We just need to kill some kids. I know, I don't like it.
Only 7.
I don't like
Only
it
7.
either. I don't like it either. But hear me out. It's gonna save all of it. Come back. Yeah, we'll make some butterscotch muffins. Does that sound fun?
Toriel was not having that.
She was not having that. If you ladies, if your husband says I want to murder some kids, that's a red flag.
You should build a different house, identical to your first one.
Yeah, exactly. Move approximately a 6-hour walk away, and build the exact same house. And anyone who comes, just be like, yeah, my husband's kind of a jerk. Murder.
And also be like, you live here now.
Also, you live here now. That's the important bit. Welcome to my humble abode. You live here now and can't leave. Who wants muffins? Or pie, not muffins. Well, maybe muffins too. But muffins could have been in the cars.
Sorry.
So if someone makes pie, they're probably good at muffins too.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably an assumption, but
what is a pie but a big muffin?
You're thinking about cake.
True. but no, it was this part of the game.
I don't know why that was the bit that broke me, but okay.
There was a part of the there's early on in the game when you're in the original house, when you're interacting with all the stuff in the room. There's a shoe bin, and it's like there are shoes of varying sizes, and it's like that's a throwaway line. But then you could put a story together of like, oh, these might be the shoes that belong to some of the children that fell before you.
Nope. That's weird. All things, why they're no, I just want to kill him. That's just weird, dude. Bury him with their shoes on. What are you doing?
Ooh.
So I wrote down, oh no, friendship. Oh, so I didn't write down anything in this boss fight because I was so enamored with it. But he straight up says, no, you can't talk to me, because he straight up uses his trident and destroys the mercy
bar. Yeah, it's like, oh.
I still tried to talk to him anyway for the first few times, and I'll admit this is the one time I had to look up, going, "What am I doing wrong?"
Yeah, I did that as well. I was just like, bro.
I was like, what am I doing something? And it was like, oh no, you have to whittle his health down. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the thing that you thought you had to do with Toriel.
Yeah.
But you actually had to do in this fight.
Which I think is intentional.
Yeah.
It could be.
It had to be, because that's what I thought I had to do. I was like, I just gotta whittle her down to prove I'm capable of myself, and then nope, you stab her. Go, oh no, this is bad. So you get to the point where you're there, and I don't know if this conversation played out the same with you, probably because if you were able to lower him, it was probably like, okay, this is where you have the option. Do you have the option here to like murder or spare here, or is this? Or, I can't remember. Or does Flowey just come and like kill him with friendship pellets at this time?
I think I had the option to spare, because
Okay.
he like started talking to me. He was like,
That's right. Yeah.
He was like, we'll take. You know what? Maybe you're right. We can take. He started to say something, and then from behind, Flowey does his deed.
Friendship pellets.
And then like my heart sank. My heart, for a moment, my heart sank. I was like, no.
Right. That of
And
all
when
the
I
deaths, well, of all like the potential deaths in this game, Sans would have hurt the most. Asgore was like, "What? Oh, I was just
yeah,
coming through to him." It was like more frustrating,
it was so
which made
sad.
you. Then
So
Flowey says the same. At least when Flowey appears, because Flowey reveals itself to be like the dark entity of this game, like behind the scene. Even though we kind of knew that
mhm,
already,
it's
that was
like
like a looming
we're
figure.
reminded.
We're reminded about Flowey, but a bit here where Flowey straight up says, I don't know what he said to you, John, but he said to me, like, remember, it's kill or be killed. Because that's what he says when on the pacifist route.
Yeah, I
And you're
think he
going
said
through,
that for
like,
me too.
okay. Just because I
think.
didn't know if it was, because it was a callback to, like, when I come out, he's like, it's a kill or be killed world, and you can't just sit on your high horse or something like that.
He didn't say that. He did
Okay.
say it's kill or be killed world.
Well, he said that at the beginning for me, but I think the dialogue here was probably similar at that point. Jeez, write more dialogue, Toby. What are you doing?
Well, yeah, you're really detailed. Game's not detailed enough.
You're slacking here. This is awesome. This bit here was what I was talking about when I say I love it when games like trick you into thinking the game is like broken.
Yeah.
And any game that reminds me of my favorite game of all time, one of my favorite games of all time, Nier Automata, gets high points because that game also plays with the expectation of what a game can potentially be and playing with save files and stuff. I'll touch more on that later on, but it kicks you back to the title screen and you think, what happened?
Like a hard crash.
A hard crash. Even it makes you sign on Xbox. It makes you sign in again. It makes you sign in on your profile.
That's
like you go. Would you like to sign in? Which like it literally boots you to the main menu screen. And then you hit the continue button. It says Flowey level 9999 XP 9999.
Did you get the little opening? Did you get the little opening when you start the game and it's like long ago?
The opening with the music and then it like glitches out.
They all disappeared without a trace. It's like, oh
so
god,
good. It's so good. Oh man, I love this bit to pieces. It's amazing. And so then you get Flowey's like boss fight here, which is easily the most frustrating fight, but it has to be.
Yes.
Because the checkpoints here are more generous than it ever has been, because he's literally creating save states.
Yes.
And will reload save states to put you in a worse situation than you were so he can hit you over again. It's wonderful. The fact that like he is can like, if he's the master of the universe, it makes sense that he has control over the game. He controls the save file. He controls the universe itself. He can reset it on a whim. He's got all the cards in his hand, and you are nothing to him.
He did what he wanted to do. He literally became a god.
He became a god, which is very much a JRPG trope, too. Like, this game plays a lot on, like, JRPG tropes and everything, but this is the most part where it feels most like the old-school Final Fantasy game, where the main villain literally becomes a god or is descended from a fallen god, and you have to kill them. Like, Persona 5... does that in a way, like even a game about doing cool heists in people's minds can't escape. We gotta fight a corrupted god. That's just how it goes. But
man, that Flowey fight, it was scary.
Yeah.
I like how it's silhouetted at first. It's like, oh wow, Flowey's big. Oh, Flowey's really big. And then like his face appears on the screen and he laughs, and as he's laughing, it shows what he is. It's like I like audibly was like my jaw was dropped.
It's so different than anything else in this game for good reason. It's very much photorealistic. It's like one of those cut out pieces of like magazine.
Yeah,
very unsettling with the style. And
it was so cool.
All the bosses in this back half versus the first half, like all the bosses were like even like the Peyruis fight, he was just like mostly a pose figure that would like animate his eyes. But all the boss fights here were so well animated. Like the spider boss was like moving like her arms was like the tea is like pouring tea as she's like fighting you. This is insane. Like
that's where the 2.5 years went.
Yeah, for the animation for those bosses, especially the Flowey fight, which the animation is so good here. It's crazy, and you're freeing the souls of the other children that were killed here.
And that's a
Which is a key
checkpoint,
thing.
basically. With each one, it's like
Each one is a checkpoint, which
Oh,
creates
I
a save
was just
state.
like crossing my fingers, hoping that I didn't die.
Oh, really? Oh my
yeah,
god!
How did you complete this without dying? Or
So I thought it was like rubber banding. I kind of thought that like
oh,
it was hitting you for less damage the longer that you got into the fight. Did you die during this?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
wow.
beginning,
I'm not even trying to
it's
be
really
like, oh,
hard.
I'm a pro gamer, but it's just like,
Because some of the stuff, like at the beginning, I was overwhelmed with so much going on. I was like, how do I dodge the fire? Okay, the locusts are a bit weird in their
The lasers.
pattern. Oh, the
Yeah.
lasers are here. Oh, he has a big mouth laser. That's a problem.
Yeah, I died a lot more in the beginning. Once I got kind of the flow of it.
You get into the groove. It's the controller thing for me, like pulling it up, just like getting really invested in it, just staring at every little thing going on. That was
how I realized each heart was like a checkpoint, because I didn't have to
same.
go back as far each time.
But even then, he'll like reload. He'll play with like your saves too, and like reload saves to get you hit and stuff. That stuff was cool, and it reminded me a lot of. For some reason, I wrote down Dormammu. I've come to bargain.
Yes,
From Doctor Strange. Just
That's
because
a good
like
analogy.
he's every time you die, he's like reloading your save over and over again, and he literally says like, you can. He's like, I just want to reset this forever because killing you is so much fun, which is so good.
Ooh.
This is a great final boss in terms of like he represents the game like itself and all of the choices that you can make come together, because no matter what path you choose, I imagine all collides at Flowey, and regardless of what path you choose, I imagine you want to end this flower just the same.
Yes. I don't know how anyone would hit Mercy
I did.
after
yeah,
that.
I did too.
Ugh.
I was like, you had to commit at that point.
Yeah, at that point. So
Man, I had to kill him after that. I was like, my run's already botched. I'm just gonna kill him.
Yeah, if I wasn't like, even if I had played this straight, true pacifist, if I was just playing this for the first time, I definitely would have just killed him. Like that's how I feel about it. But
exactly.
The only reason I did it is just so I could get, I didn't want it to mess up like running through the true pacifist.
Yeah, I wanted to see what the true pacifist run was about too, because he would have said, "I'll kill you," and then you hit Mercy, "I'll kill your family, I'll kill everyone you ever loved." He's like, "What are you doing? You have to hit it like 10 times." Because why are you still doing this? Why are you being nice? And then, why are you being nice to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep hitting it because I think he's like, "Stop it, stop it, stop it."
Oh my god.
It's so, and he straight up refuses it, but then. Walk me through your ending, John. What happened? Because this is the end of the game for you, right?
Yes.
Right. Walk me through how this whole thing like ended.
It was overwhelming. All I remember really was after I did the deed and I decided to kill Flowey.
Kill the plant.
I did it, and he was like, "Well, you're a killer," and that's what he mocked me, essentially.
It doesn't feel good.
It didn't feel good. It didn't. It was like, oh. And then I think it pretty much ended with that. Like, there was like some more like mocking dialogue from Flowey, but that was pretty much it.
There's an epilogue here with the characters who are alive who befriended you.
Yeah, there was. I did have Sans, and I had Peyruis, and
they were the only ones. Were they the only ones who like talked?
They were. I don't know why Alphys wasn't there, but she should have been. I felt like, because like
I don't know. I wrote down everybody who appeared.
Yeah,
I think it was only the characters who you could have killed up here.
Sans tells me something that was kind of heartbreaking. He was like, yeah, so after Asgore died, basically
He goes to the door.
Yeah. Toriel was tried to take over as the queen, and she tried to say that this would be a place where all humans who come down here can live, but the people didn't like that because they thought a human killed our king, so they overthrew Toriel, and she pretty much.
Shit.
Oh no!
They overthrew her, and she was okay though because she conceded, And
Oh.
so he said, but everything's pretty much anarchy down here now. It's all awful, and but Papyrus and Sans come and visit Toriel every day, and we share jokes and pie. And it was like, oh, like it was that part was sweet because it was like Sans and Papyrus and Toriel were like they stuck together amidst the
Yeah.
chaos of what was happening after there was no longer a king. The whole world was chaos down there because the king's gone. They think a human killed him, and the queen's like, yeah, let's not kill humans, and they're like, what? And so they go crazy. Oh, it was sad.
That hurts.
It really made me I remember that being like where I have to play this game again. I don't want this ending again.
No, yeah.
Oh.
And that's the neutral route.
That's one of them. There are apparently more.
Oh man, jeez.
I got a bad one though because there were some where like.
Well, you were level 10. You had a level 10 violence rating.
That's true, but there were some neutral endings that I like looked
People
up.
People were like,
compare.
"You're defending the person who murdered a lot of people. I'd be mad too." Like, who elected her? She killed people. She's an enabler.
Yeah, it makes sense when you look at it like from that perspective. But it didn't. That was the only heartwarming.
They're in a dark place, right? They're in a dark place right now, but eventually the rights will turn and they'll be like France, right? Right? The underworld will be like this is exactly what happened with them, right? Exactly, murder flower and everything. I may have skipped that portion of the French Revolution chapter.
Sans was like, and Peyruis was like, "Who are you talking to?" And Sans was like, "Don't worry about it."
That was great.
Like, tell him I said hi. He's like, Peyruis says hi.
So is Peyruis the captain of the Royal Guard on yours then? Okay, so
yes, okay. I think so. I think he became the captain because
I mean they kind of had to promote somebody.
Yeah,
because he murdered Undyne.
I think so. I honestly I could be getting them jumbled because I did watch a couple other neutral run outcomes.
Okay, gotcha.
Just so but I do know for a fact that's what happened in mine was that Toriel tried to become the queen, but she was overthrown.
That's the big takeaway.
Yeah, and that Peyruis and Sans visited her every day, and they were like friends.
Well, okay, on ours, I think mine and Nick's will basically be the same. Let me know if something changes, but I'm going to run down the list. So the queen is now ruling the underground. Toriel is the leader, and everyone seems happy. All humans are friends, I believe, is the tagline she was like promoting. And the human souls that you freed disappeared. They vanished, so they can't use them to open the underground.
Oh.
And nobody. Can I talk to them too? I wrote that bit down for Peyruis. I guess that was great. Peyruis is now the captain of the Royal Guard, and he's the leader because he's the only one left. The Royal Guard was abolished because he didn't need him anymore, but Peyruis wanted to be the leader of the Royal Guard because he's the only one left.
And they knew that Peyruis wouldn't cause any harm.
So he finally... I think that's the bit where I was like, he's my favorite.
That's fair.
They are all working together to find a way out. They even say, like, hey, we're trying to find an alternative way to break the seal and return to the world because we don't want to kill people anymore because that's bad. You taught us that killing's bad, so we'll find a way out. Don't worry. Is basically the message there. And they're talking. They do a jab at was it Toriel or somebody or Alphys, because there's the line, "We have the mercy to spare you from her," which is good. And Undyne is teaching Peyruis now, like full time, how to cook. I think that's what the Royal Guard is for now. They're for cooking and not actual fighting. I think it's been refocused into like a kitchen culinary team. She's the only one member of. Yeah, Spaghetti Wars. I'd watch that. A spaghetti-themed reality show starring skeletons. Let's go.
Yes.
Now it's time to reload our save because we're doing the Pacifist route. So, listener, if you have not played the Pacifist route and don't want to be spoiled, give us a pause here. And
should I duck out for this?
Come back. If you want, you can mute us, and I will send a message to the chat that we're not talking about spoilers anymore, just mute us because I don't know how the chat will be.
I think I can do it. I think
yeah.
I can mute.
Yeah. So I will. Can you see me on your screen? I'll give you a thumbs up once we're done. I'll give a thumbs up once we're done talking spoilers. For you listening at home, you cannot see my thumbs up. I will put a time code whenever we're done talking spoilers with this section.
Yeah.
For the pacifist route. All right.
Sweet.
All right. Okay, John is muted. All right. So, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
So, we go and talk to Undyne and Peyruis, and they give us a letter to go to take to Alphys. And this is where the second date happens, but with Alphys instead, and this whole bit is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, feeling how I feel about Alphys, I actually hated this part too, but...
This bit was redeemed by one thing, and that was Peyruis wearing a jersey that said Jog Boy. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's gotta be on Etsy. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
At the same time, people will be like, "Oh, he's what is that?" That's something I want it, but I'll never leave the house with it because I feel like I would have to explain it. Like Jog Boy, like.
Yeah, that's like you gotta, in true Peyruis fashion, you gotta make it yourself.
You got oh, true. Like rip a t-shirt, take out a
Right on it
Sharpie,
with
and
Sharpie,
just, like, yeah. That's where we go. And Alphys confesses her love for Undyne here, and Alphys was working for the king to find a way to break the soul barrier. So this is happening. The timeline here is a little weird because you're reloading your save. Is this happening after, supposedly timeline wise, after the main story here? Like once you start that path, is it happening after you do all that stuff, or is it happening at the point you would be at in the story at this time when you reload your save?
I mean, so I don't know officially, but this is something I see happening. When you walk into the courtroom of the final battle, and the guy's just like, he's kind of kicking the can down the road. He doesn't want to fight you, and he's just kind of giving you like 3 different options to be like, hey man, if you got anything else to do, just go ahead and take care of that. Like that's where this kind of exists in my mind.
Those horns were on my end. Yeah. So, and this is after this. There's this whole. This is where the big lore dump happens in this game with the underground facility.
I feel like this is like where you're kind of on this one line, and then this is where it just opens up to like a million different timelines. Is how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. It's to the point where I don't know. Between the two of us, I think we can figure this out. But there's so much here that I don't know if I've had my head wrapped around it all.
Yeah, I mean, between us playing through the game and that like 4-hour rabbit hole I went through after I beat this game the first time, I think we could probably piece a lot of this together.
All right, so yeah, let's walk through it. We'll see. So this is where we find out that Alphys was working for the king to find a way to break the soul barrier, and they have to use the souls of monsters, but we were told they didn't have souls. What? Because that was the whole thing, but we find out later. Because at the waterfall, we're like, monsters don't have souls. But it turns out that they have souls in their bodies. But it just disappears after they're killed.
Monsters have souls, but they're not as strong as human souls. And human souls can persist after death, and monster souls disappear after death, basically. Because
humans have something that the monsters don't, and that is determination. That payoff there was really good.
Yeah.
That whole thing. And you watch this is what got me. You watch tapes, and Alphys, you feel like has been recording you from the beginning before you were born. But this is where you find out. Well, we find out till later because it's your character name. So for me, it was like Penny. But there's a reveal later that your character's name isn't actually Penny. It's Frisk.
Right.
Because Penny was the name of the child that fell down the pit the first time. Which was a great reveal, but at the same time, I was like, then why did everybody call me Penny? I don't know. I feel like there would be some stuff I would work out there, plotline wise, but overall, I liked the twist. Maybe it just needed. It landed for me, but at the same time, I felt like that point could have been made stronger.
Yeah. So to go too in depth, but basically, if you play a genocide route, Flowey / Azrael, there's the big surprise.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, identifies more with you because he is a power hungry individual, and in the genocide route, it's alleged that you're basically as close to the first character or the first child that falls, like the one that's raised with him. So maybe that's where some of this kind of like splits off. But
and if you remind him of the child, that's why he gets really angry, because you're like evoking that like feeling again in Flowey, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like being Azrael. There's a lot of the bit with the like the ghost like zombie monster things. Did you grab from the vending machine initially?
The chip thingy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was kind of hoping you didn't, because I did, and she said, "Oh, the monster smelled potato chips, and that's why they were following you." So I wondered what the dialogue would be if you didn't partake in the potato chips. But they were test subject. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the only thing it said for me was that it deposited a thingy of chips or something.
But that's why like the underground monsters were testing you, that were chasing you, because they wanted the cookie in your pocket. So yeah, they were the test subjects and basically zombies. They were injected by Alphys with determination to see if their souls could happen after death, and they were like these weird experiment things, and even to the point where they're not who they are anymore. And she hasn't like there's a whole thing about she hasn't contacted the families at all about that.
Yeah, they just disappear, and she can't like produce a body anymore.
Yeah, and then she was like, "What happens when the flower gains the will to live?" And the next note, the flower is gone. And you're like, just like, thanks, Alphys. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Then the elevator underneath takes you back up to the castle, but this time, Toriel saves you.
Yeah.
And basically like, scolds her ex-husband, like, "What are you doing?"
To the point where she's even like, "You could have just went and got people to help you after you got the first soul. Like, why did you have to murder 6 more kids?" Like,
just scolds him. It's really great. Sans and Toriel meeting. This is the calm before the storm here. This is where like it's the last bit of levity before this game hits its like last really heavy bit here.
yeah.
But yeah, the gang's all here. Sans and Toriel have a meeting, and they're like, "Wait a minute, you're the guy I've been hearing outside my door." And it's like that was a really touching moment.
Yeah, you get this wholesome thing where it's just like this person who's supposed to be your mom in the game sees that you have gone out and made friends and what she sees as a terrible world, and then has her own relationships with each of these people as well. So
they all connected to her in some way.
Yeah,
which was so good. And so all your friends join up here, and then Flowey captures all of them, and then you have to do a alternate version of the Flowey fight where you have to save your friends.
Yep.
Initially, but then the flower turns into Azrael.
Dun dun dun. Again.
All of it begins to unravel. This is where I'm a bit lost.
Okay.
So how did Azrael turn into the flower?
I
know she was injected with determination. So yeah.
So my only thought process here, and this is completely shot in the dark, I'm sure there is a very obscure forum on the internet that has it all nailed down, but I just feel like when they have that determination, they exist elsewhere.
Okay.
So Azrael would get his determination from the soul of the child when he absorbs it and takes them outside, and then I don't know, that's my only way that I could probably justify it.
Like, his determination was so strong that his determination was so strong that his soul lasted long, because he was determined for sure to like there. So maybe his soul lasted longer to the point where, whenever Alphys brought his body back. Maybe that was the one she used in the flower.
Could be. I
But
can't remember if they said that he brought those flowers back with him. When when he crawled
right.
back.
Those were the same flowers where the kid died.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that I think ties it together. I think that's why it was. And since he was like stabbed, maybe like his soul like was in the flower, and when they injected it with more determination, it kind of like a cross contamination thing.
Yeah.
And since he was murdered in cold blood, essentially, that's why it was filled with like the flower was filled with like a hot rage.
Right.
It became
I mean, you've
like
got
a demented version of Azrael.
this dude who's just trying to make right by somebody he spent his life with that got, that fell on bad times, trying to do the last nice thing that they wanted, and then he's killed for it. Um, and then exist outside of time for an undetermined amount of time. So he's probably just had a lot of time to be bitter about it,
I'd be mad too.
Probably
Turned
lost
to a
all faith
flower.
in humanity.
I lost my best friend. I was murdered. I got turned into a flower. I just want to kill things. That's a good point.
No.
This boss fight's great. Again, another strong one. And this is where you learn to reveal too that your name was never what you wrote it as. It was actually Frisk.
Right.
And so Penny in my playthrough was the kid who fell in the well and befriended Azrael. Which I always thought was when it said raised together, I thought it meant like Azrael raised, but no, you were basically
Like brother and sister.
Brother and sister, yeah. That redefined the relationship in like a very interesting way, and that's when you find out, Azrael is. This is why I connected the dots. Oh, Azrael's their son, even though I probably should have got that forever ago, but I was just hit with so much stuff. And it brings a whole new meaning to like I hinted at before, but the casket that says your character's name, that wasn't for you. Because initially you think that's for you, but then you realize no, it's, and the reason it's an empty casket is because they didn't have a body to bring back.
That's
because no one could
yeah.
cross that. That's so good.
Yeah, I didn't even thought about that.
Mm-hmm. That was the first thing I thought, because I went back that way again to see what was there, and it was still a casket. So that was fresh in my mind when I thought of that.
Yeah.
Then, basically, this is you're saving. You're once again saving the souls of your friends, so you can all join together and defeat this evil god with the power of friendship in true JRPG fashion.
Right.
And this is the ending. You say your goodbyes to everybody here. You're meeting on the flower bed from the beginning of the game, and you're all going to go through the portal together, and monsters are going to try to live at peace with humans.
Yeah, so you get to they did this in Deltarune as well. I just played through that first chapter where you basically just walk around and meet the cast, and you just talk to people again and get like a last final bit out of everybody, which is cool. I don't know if you did that before you walked through the barrier, but
I talked to everybody multiple times, into the point where were like, stop talking to me, please.
Yeah.
Talk to someone else. There's a good bit here. Peyruis just runs out, and then Sans goes, "Someone's got to keep him out of trouble," and then runs
and then just walks the opposite direction. That's pretty good.
And then Undyne just goes like, "Fine, I'll do it." Did you choose to stay, or did you choose to leave?
I chose to stay.
I chose to leave.
Oh, really? So basically, she just, in my playthrough, she talks about how happy she is that you're going to stay with them, and then you just walk off holding hands, basically.
Okay. It's basically kind of the same thing. I get a hug, and it's basically like, hey, I understand you're gonna be you're a stronger person. You deserve to see the world yourself. You get a hug, and then you just go your separate ways.
Gotcha.
Which both work thematically with the game. I feel like there's no wrong choice here. They both feel like right.
I agree with that, but it is funny to me that the wording that they use is just, I got things to do. Like, if you decide not to stay, it's just like, come on, man, I've been down here for like 6 hours. I got things to do.
Got people to call. Got people to see.
Like my mom probably is worried about me at least.
A little bit, yeah. What'd you do today? I almost got killed by some monsters. Oh, that's nice to hear. Anyway.
By the way, they exist in our plane now, so.
Oh, by the way, I kind of caused this.
I ushered in this second
Is that what
thing.
Deltarune's kind of about? Is that about like this whole thing? But I guess if they did that, then it would kind of be, if you didn't play this route, it would kind of feel cheated in some way, I guess.
So I feel like this is another thing that somebody probably knows on some forum, but I think Deltarune, or that considered the canon ending is the pacifist route, the true pacifist route. They're
Yeah.
like, that's how this game is supposed to be played, I guess. And then Deltarune takes place in a world that has monsters and humans together.
Okay, so it's much later. Okay.
But it's not. So it's not supposed to be like subsequent. It's
Same.
basically just like an alternative timeline, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And there's a boss fight fake out at the end.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I was like, oh no. And then I reloaded the game just to see what would happen. I was greeted by Flowey, who's like, I have the power to reset everything. Okay, that was a bit I didn't touch on with Azrael. Azrael was obsessed with restarting everything because he didn't want to go through the pain again, and I think wanted to redo it all different. I think was that whole.
So basically, he doesn't want to lose, you as a friend, somebody that he sees as his first sibling / best friend, and it's just like, I'm just going to destroy the entire universe over and over again until you stop trying to leave.
And that animated bit at the end where you see a young Azrael with the character, so Penny, just helping her up and everything and giving her a hug, hurts, and then it's accentuated at the end where it's just you and Azrael talking on Frisk and Azrael talking on a black plane as he's thanking you for freeing him and basically says, I'll open the gate, don't worry.
Right.
And so good. And Folly has the power to reset everything, and that's why I was like, I can never play this game again, because if you reset the game, you reset the world where everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And you take that away from them. You basically restart them, and you doom them to being underground again if you restart the game, which cool way of playing. There's a really cool bit. It reminded me of Nier Automata, where it asks you where it's the opposite of that, where Nier Automata at the end asks you to delete your save. Once you beat the game, it's like, you want to delete your save?
That's interesting.
For a story reason that I don't necessarily want to get into if you haven't played the game, but it's really cool. It reminded me of the inverse of that, or this one's about saving your game and the adventure you've been through, versus Nier Automata is hey, delete it and this might help somebody.
Yeah.
And which is cool. So I will give John the thumbs up to come back.
Oh,
hey, he's back.
Hello. I've surfaced from the non-spoiler water.
How'd it taste?
Awful.
Oh no. Well, glad we got you out of there. That was a really long time to hold your breath. So let's wrap up here. I'm gonna give actually space here because Eric has a pre-recorded message for us.
Yeah.
Or his thoughts on Undertale, because he couldn't be with us today. Take it away, Eric.
Reporting live from the baby front, it's Eric here. As I mentioned in the last couple of episodes, got a new baby that entered the ward last week. So obviously not on the show this week due to priorities and all those things. But I still wanted to kind of hop on here real quick, throw out some ideas of what I thought about the part 2 of Undertale. And once again, kind of interrupt your wonderful show that's going on right now, I'm sure. I'm sure Michael, John, and Nick are having a great show, and you'll probably get me back to those guys. But, had to interrupt anyway. I'm not going to go through the entire game. Obviously, Mike was probably already done that, and you guys have heard well thought out expert as expert as State of the Save gets, I guess. Analysis of Undertale. I'm just going to be real vague here, just kind of hit some highlights for me. I will say that part 2 of this, playing through this second half, I think some of the bits really overstay their welcome. Nick brought up a point last time that Alphys was the one character that he remembered when he played through this the first time, and he remembered hating him, and surprise, surprise, Alphys fucking sucks. And it's not even because of the character It's more of the fact that it's a joke that just gets hammered over and over and over and over and over, and it's a setup for the big surprise heel turn that Alphys makes, which, surprise, surprise, I think I figured out probably 30 minutes before it actually happens, because it's kind of an obvious turn for me. Like, of course he is, like some weird obsessed stalker. Murderbot comes out so much cooler than Alphys. Everything with Murderbot in this game is amazing. Everything that you could hate about Alphys is great about Murderbot. His every sequence is just amazing. Arguably maybe my favorite character in this game. Not sure. But like I said, there's a lot of good bits here that I really liked. I like, particularly one that stood out for me was the Sans conversation, in which you go out to dinner with Sans at the hotel, and he tells you that basically your monster mom from the beginning was had put him in charge of kind of helping you along, and there's this great like subtle tension there of you knowing, as like for me as the person who killed her, knowing what I did, and him just being like, boy, if she didn't do that, you'd be dead. And like this really like dark pause there as you let that sink in. And also I want to throw out the Spider boss paying off, where you get to the second bake sale and then they attack you for being cheap. And my way of getting out of it was the fact that I had bought something at the first bake sale. So they're like, oh yeah, wait, the spiders from the first bake sale are like, hey, you did buy something, so you're not that cheap. We'll let you fly, which is great because I was getting my ass kicked. There's several boss fights in this last section that just bite you in the ass, that you have to deal with some difficult freaking fights. Yeah, man. All in all, and like I said, Michael and John and Nick will be giving y'all the cool, great breakdown here, but my overall feelings on Undertale is it's a game that, while I enjoy it, I do not have the love for it that a lot of people do. It didn't appeal to me. It didn't connect with me on a super deep level like I thought it maybe would have. It's a solid game. I really am glad to finally have played it and, have the reference that, comes along with it. Its biggest hindrance is I never enjoyed the combat. And I know that there's a lot of people screaming right now being like, well, you're supposed to play the more pacifist run like Nick and Michael are. But even like the bullet hell stuff, it feels a little bit sometimes very random, and like, you're almost guaranteed to get hit at least once because the pattern changes. I just never enjoyed the combat, and that's a shame that one aspect just never clicked. It never clicked with me. Character-wise, though, character writing is top-notch. If you told me, hey, we're playing his next game, next week, I would probably be fine with that. I think his character writing, his music is fucking amazing and never stops being amazing. Other than Alphys, every character in this game is great, except Alphys, because Alphys can go fuck off. But yeah, like I really I'm looking forward to, because this is the first show I'm not in person there, to hear what the guys have to say. Here's my predictions here. I think this game is going to go over super well with Michael. I think it will go over well with John. Me and John don't know each other very well, so I'm not entirely sure how he'll respond to this second part. And Nick, this is a Nick game if there ever was one, and him having the multi-playthrough advantage, I think is going to be fascinating. So I'll get you back to the boys there. I will see you back on the next episode. I'm going to go and try to sleep, and it won't walk. I'll get woken up anyway, so wish me luck there. As always, thank you guys for supporting the show, and it's been a really cool ride so far. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. I hope everybody enjoyed last week's really good Foul Corrupted with our guest Tanner there. That was the Super Mario Brothers just excuse for Michael and Tano to fight each other over shit. Basically, it was basically an excuse for them to fight. Any show that Michael shows up with a spreadsheet, you know shit's gonna go weird. But yeah, ton of cool stuff coming up for the end of the year. It's gonna be great. Fall and winter. I feel like the show hits its stride in winter and fall. It's our time, I guess. You know, everybody's inside playing video games in the cold. So yeah, I'll get you back to the boys. Have a good one. Back to you, Michael. I'll do the radio shit.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks.
Yeah,
The
so
power of
true,
editing.
man. You killed it,
think
man.
That,
I liked the part where you said the thing.
Yeah, that was a good point that you made.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was beautiful and was not hastily put in via editing software. You
It got a
really
little
showed up
problematic there towards the end, but a good thing that Michael was able to cut that out.
a little bit, yeah. Not sure we had to bring that country into this, but okay.
Not everything's an analog, man.
So overall, let's go around one last time, and everybody give your thoughts on Undertale as a whole. I want to say I came around on this half because that implies I wasn't into it in the first time, but the second half connected all the pieces, and I absolutely love this game. I get its popularity, I get its significance in like gaming culture. Weird phrase to say, but it's an incredible indie game, and the fact that it was made by one person astonishes me. And I love this game, and I'm probably gonna do a genocide route eventually, just because I want to hear all the cool music and see all the pieces of the puzzle I missed. I really want to find a design doc and like figure out how we accomplish this, because this is a masterclass of indie games and like how to make an effective game with only a few hours. Like, it's probably the shortest game we played for a two-parter on this show, but we needed it to discuss, because this is like just discussing the second half of Undertale. This is probably going to be our longest episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
So warranted, absolutely. So that's what I think. John, what did you think of this game?
Oh man, I wish I'd played this 5 years ago when it came out.
I'm right there with you.
It was an incredible experience. I was so glad to have finally experienced it. This game was funny. It was emotional. It was enough to keep me engaged, but it wasn't too much to drive me away in terms of like lore, in terms of just anything that could be, taken as overwhelming. There are several reasons to stop playing a game. This game did not give me any of those. In fact, it gave me all the reasons to want to play it again, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do a pacifist run. I might even do a full-out genocide run one day, because I want to hear Megalovania.
Megalovania. Yeah, that's the reason why you would do a genocide run, just to hear that track in context.
If someone told me that genuinely, I would believe it. Because, like, absolutely a reason. Because
you gotta murder your friends, but dude, look, listen to this song.
Yeah, but it bops though.
It bops though, exactly. Just like the bodies on the ground.
But yeah, no, and I'm glad I got to experience it in a neutral way first, because that kind of leaves me open to two exciting new ways to experience this game. At least
it'll feel new either way that you experience it. I get you.
Yeah, and that's those are my thoughts. Wonderful game. Probably one of my favorite games I've played this year.
I'm up there with you with that. All right, Nick, you having played this game before, how did it compare to your first time playing it?
So, I mean, to be completely honest, I kind of thought, like, when we mentioned this, like, I was down to do it, but I kind of thought it was going to be something that was, like, more of a slog for me because I've already played it. But just the fact that there's so many different ways to play this game that are more than just like, well, you took the extra time to not kill anybody and there's no payoff. That's not how this game handles that. There's so many different interactions and stuff that you can get out of it. I will say for John, if you're going to do a genocide route, do it first before you do a true pacifist, because you will have to start from a true reset to get a true pacifist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this game has so many weird, like, again, like, the reason it's called, like, true pacifist is because you're starting from a blank slate, and then you have to get that reset from the beginning of or the end of a genocide run, which is it just goes to show you how many weird like you can play a neutral route and then play a pacifist route and then play a genocide route and then play a pacifist route and they still know that they killed you killed
You did
somebody.
all those things.
Gotcha. Because
Yeah,
when we
it's
played
so weird.
when we played I played a pacifist route first, and it didn't make me restart from the beginning. It was like, oh, you didn't kill anybody. You can start from the new content. It's basically like unlocking the third semester in Persona 5. It's like, did you meet these arbitrary check marks? Okay, you can. Congratulations, you unlock the new content.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the further I got away from this game after beating it the first time, which was relatively after it was released, the kind of harsher and more critical I looked back on it and kind of convinced myself I didn't like it. But now playing it again, the more I've talked about it, the more I'm just like, wow, this game is just like very thoughtfully made and it's very good.
Was that a result of like the popularity of it? Like when you see an indie band you like take off, you're like, that album's not. It's good, but it's not that good.
I think it's partially that, where it's just like, I played this game, and then now they're making like memes that are like 4 or 5 different layers that have just been like re-memed like 5 different times. I'm just like, I don't identify with this anymore.
The Rick and Morty effect. The reason
exactly.
I watch later season is because of the fandom in a way,
Exactly.
which shouldn't deter me from that at all. But it's just the fact that like a community can like sour you on something is really sad. But overall, like, because I'm really glad we played this for the show, just because it's a fantastic game, and I'm so happy that we found like so many like ways to like discuss this game. And yeah. All right, should we call it for the Undertale portion?
Let's call it.
All right. Well, being this is the end of a game club, that means we're starting a new game club. Eric will be back for the next game club, and that's going to be, you guys wanted it. Well, I wanted it. You guys gave us the reviews we needed to make this happen. That's right. Let's do this. It's Sonic Adventure 2 time.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That's an accurate response, I would say. Kind of nailed it.
Knuckles has a way with words. Oh no. So I'm gonna be really quick with the history. I like to frame the history of a game before we go fresh into the next one. So I'm gonna go really fast with the history of the development of Sonic Adventure 2. And I just want to say, first up, we did it. We have finally reached a milestone I've been trying for from the very beginning. We're playing a Dreamcast game. It finally happened. Finally made this happen. So, Sonic was the brainchild of Yuji Naka, who was Sega's lead programmer for Phantasy Star, and Naoto Oshima. And for the development of Sonic the Hedgehog, I would say read the book Console Wars, because that is an incredible book that outlines the entire history of like Sega of America and how they eventually crushed Nintendo's monopoly into a 50-50 split in the market. So great book, and that details Sonic. But before the release, they gave their team the name Sonic Team because they were sure the game was going to be a hit, so might as well name the studio after it. Tensions were high for Yuji and some of his staff members after Sonic 1, because the game was a massive hit, which made for the fact that they didn't get their names in the end credits hurt all the more, because Japanese games at the time, they didn't credit individual staff members, they credited the whole studio. So the credits were just happy music, and it says developed by Sonic Team. Anyway, moving on, you beat the game. So the team members rebelled and put their names on there's a black screen at the end that's like for a few seconds long. All the names of the people who developed it have black text on that black screen to feel like they hid their credits in the game. So, So, Tom Kalinske, who was the head of Sega of America at the time, he reached out and was like, "Hey, Yuji, there's some tension over there. I want you to develop Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in America." So Yuji picked his best team, and they moved over to make Sonic 2, and that was a hit. So he stays in America for the remainder of the Genesis before moving back for Japan. Sonic Extreme is being developed and is canceled for the Sega Saturn. And then Sonic Adventure releases on the Dreamcast on launch day 9/9/99 to rave reviews and blew people's minds. People loved that well. However, one main problem critics cited was the hub areas were considered uninteresting and only served to connect levels. They didn't really serve a purpose other than like pad time. So Yuji Naka comes back to America to form Sonic Team USA in San Francisco, of all places. And he was inspired by the San Francisco cityscapes and Yosemite National Park, which shaped the game's setting and levels. And he wanted to inject more of an American flavor into the game for Sonic Adventure 2. So that includes cutting out the filler, ramping up the speed to lead from action set piece to action set piece connected by a cutscene. You're not traveling to these levels anymore. You're going to hit you one after another action. Like, he wanted to make Americanize it in a way and make it like very action focused and straightforward.
I mean, as a great hedgehog says, gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, exactly. So this includes the soundtrack, shifting more. So the first soundtrack was like a weird mix of like, critics were kind of dismissive of the soundtrack, going, there's a couple songs in here, but mostly they're like, there's a bit of a glam rock flair to them that doesn't quite mesh. Like, it was scattershot, the soundtrack for Sonic 1. And the Sonic 2 has an emphasis on melodic pop punk, hip hop, and orchestral music. The soundtrack. This soundtrack rules, and I will stand by that. And now, the kinks of the Dreamcast were worked out, so Naka and his team had a much better development experience, and the game released on June 9th, 2001, to high critical praise. Critics loved the replay value, the Chow Garden, which is my favorite part of the game, the visuals, and the soundtrack, but they hated the camera. The camera sucks. I'll just throw that out of the way now, so we're going to have a bad time with the camera. And the game is still, to this day, on several best games of the Dreamcast list. And this game came near the end of the Dreamcast fall. The PlayStation 2 was looming and was going to eat everyone's lunch, or maybe it was out by this point. I keep forgetting. I think the PS2 came out in the late 2000s, so I think it ate the Dreamcast lunch by this point. So Sonic Adventure 2 released on the GameCube, where sales were doubled, but the total of the Dreamcast numbers, it sold twice as much on the Dreamcast in a much shorter amount of time, and is still one of the best-selling GameCube games. It's available to play on the Dreamcast, GameCube, PS3, Xbox 360, and Steam. And for part 1 of Sonic Adventure 2, we are going to play the hero story. And for part 2, we're going to play the dark story. You play as the villains throughout this game. And then you unlock a third. The second part will also include a third chapter that opens up when you beat 2 that ties up all the loose ends and ties up this game into a grand finale. And that's the history of Sonic 2. Sonic Adventure 2, that's what we're going to be playing for the show next. I am very excited to play this.
I'm very excited to start this game and then spend the rest of my time raising a award-winning fleet of Chow to participate in sports for me.
Yes. I can't wait to hear the text, guys. Sorry, guys, I can't join you. I can't finish this section. I'm too busy raising these Chow. Or I went ahead and played the dark missions because I really wanted to raise some dark Chow. And the best way to do that
to unlock Chow Hell.
That's right. There's a Chow Hell. I forgot about that. I feel like half of our time is going to be discussing the story, and then half the time is talking about our Chow. Which is exactly what I want, because I'm going to be hit by the fact that either A, I'm going to be like, this game still rules and I have a connection to it, or B, I'm going to be like, this game sucks, but the Chow Garden is great. The reason I picked this one, because it has a very personal tie to me in video gaming. I'll get into that once we start the show. But it reinvigorated my love with video games in a lot of ways. And the second part is because something has to get below Dead Space. Something has to. And there's two ways this could go, both equally hilarious. A, the bottom game on our list is a Sonic game, which is funny to me. Or two, we vote Sonic, or B, we vote Sonic Adventure 2 to be better than Dead Space, and Eric has to live with that fact. So, get ready for that. And I think that wraps us up. Wow, this is by far our longest episode, but this was a great discussion. Thanks, John, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For the Undertale Game Club. It was great having you. You brought a lot of insightful points, and we would love to have you again in the future. Nick, thanks again for joining us here. We hope to have you by for Sonic Adventure, but has work calmed down a bit, or is it still a lawless hellhole?
Yeah, that's the latter. It's pretty terrible.
Okay.
Only getting
Alright,
worse.
oh no, oh no, to quote Knuckles again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But so we'll see how this goes. We'll figure it out as we go, as we do with State of the Save. You might think we're an organized podcast, but the joke's on you. But if you like this disorganized podcast, feel free to give us 5 stars on iTunes and wherever else you can rate podcasts. Give us a shout out on social media at State of the Save on Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok. Or send an email with your thoughts on Sonic Adventure 2, Undertale, or any other games past or games that you want us to play. We'd love to answer your emails, or you can just ask us what's your favorite movie, and we'll talk about that for about 20 minutes and spend some time doing that. So thank you, everybody, and to quote Eric, stay safe out there.